Hello, Jaguars. I am Zhamarr Thompkins, host of Jaguar Sports Talk Nation. And on this episode, we've got a very exciting conversation with the coach of both men's and women's golf, head coach Fred Hawkins, and he's here to give us an inside look at the season. Coach,
Yes.
Very excited to talk about golf, so thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's just go ahead and get into it. This is your second year as the head coach here at GSU. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to be the coach here at GSU.
Well, a little bit about myself. I ran the first tee of really the National Junior Golf Program in Joliet. And at that time, Scott Hogan, who was the golf coach here, so he asked for some help. And I said, hey, I'll come and help you. And so I came over and became the assistant coach at that time and then turned out to be the head coach.
Great, great. And golf is a very unique sport that we have here at GSU. You actually have two seasons, one in the fall, one in the spring. Can you tell me the reason behind it?
The reason behind it, from what I can gather, is the weather. You know, because golf season is really during the summer type of situation. But when you start talking about introducing the college scene to golf, they had to split it up, you know, because we start in September. We can't go all the way through because it's winter. And usually what happened, they split it up and we start up again in April, March.
All right, and if we're looking at the difference between the two seasons, the fall season ends with the CCAC Cup and the spring season ends with the CCAC Championship. Can you tell me the difference between the two events?
Sure. The Cup is something that they introduced some years ago, but it's just where you get a chance to see all the teams in your conference come together, you know, and try to get a preliminary of what's going to be like before the end of the season, which is the conference championship. That's at John Deere, TPC. So that's a big event. And that's where Casey, he qualified for nationals last year.
Okay. And if we're looking at your duties here, you have the privilege of coaching two teams, which is quite a bit of a challenge if you ask me. We talked a little bit off camera, but tell me like the responsibilities that you have coaching two teams and how do you manage it?
Well, it's a challenge, trying to get enough students to be able to play golf. It's a challenge for women as well as for men. It's really trying to get them to where they be able to blend together. You know, like we have different practice sessions. Sometimes we're able to practice together. But the biggest problem is finding them when they are able to practice together because of scheduling classes. So basically we have two different practice sessions, one for the men, one for the women.
Gotcha, gotcha. And if we're looking at your team, let's start off talking about your women's team. You got a very tight roster this year. We're looking at Kylie Maloney as the junior for your team. Tell me how she improved coming into the season.
Oh, Kylie, she has really improved. She has a bright future, and she'd like to work hard at it. And when she came in, I think she came in from Elmhurst. From that experience, she was able to build here and continue to build on it. Sedona, which is, I would say, our #1 golfer, she's going to break the school record this year, which is, I think it's 85. I think Miss Parrish had that, and I think Sedona, this past fall, she shot 86, and she shot 86 with a 10. So she's going to be pretty good coming up this spring.
All right, so you mentioned a little bit about Sedona there. She's one of your senior golfers here on your women's team. Can you talk to me about her and Casey and what are you expecting from them being seniors on this team and what are you expecting to see them do in their final season here?
Well, I expect both of them to do well. Matter of fact, all the girls will do well. But Casey, she's got a little bit more experience. She played high school golf. And so even though she's been off a while, you know, she's a graduate student, but she's getting back into the swing of things. So I'm really looking forward to her playing well this spring.
All right, thank you, Coach. We're gonna take a quick break. We will be right back after we take care of some business. But when we do come back, we'll be talking with Coach and we'll still be talking about the men's team.
Dining is back at Governor State University. With a complete remodel in 2020, the GSU Cafe has a modern feel. Glass window seating overlooks the beautiful GSU Pond. Unique lighting gives a sense of warmth and coziness. And the cuisine. Pristine ingredients are used like hand-grounded coffee beans, fresh fruit, submarine fillings, and hot oven pizza. Students with a My One card can add a meal plan that best fits their appetite. Visit the GSU Cafe the next time you're on campus. Savor the fresh.
Welcome back, Jaguars. Head coach Fred Hawkins is still here, and we're still talking golf. Coach, let's shift our focus over to the men's team for just a second. Can you tell us a little bit how the men's team performed during the fall season of 2021?
Oh, they did. They did exceptional well as well. We won our first tournament. We come out the box winning our first tournament, which was great. After that, you know, we began to start playing better competition, I wouldn't say. But it gave us a chance to see how well we were doing and how well we have improved and what we need to continue to work on. You know, when you look at golf, we are developing characters, good character people, because golf is the only one, to me, the only sport that really develops character. Because when you look at golf, there's no referee, you know, there's no one telling you fouled or stuff. Golf, you had to call your own text. You had to be honest. You get immediate feedback if you're wrong. So it's one of the things that I really enjoyed about golf and work with the young people is that they're able to develop character.
Yeah, that's a great point. A lot of people probably never look at it that way, but that is an amazing thing that you just pointed out. Continuing with the trend of talking about our men's team, we're looking at the seniors on this team. We got Mr. Patrick Guilfoyle. Tell me, what are you expecting from him for this season and how good he's performed so far?
And Pat has put a lot of pressure on himself because he wanted to do better. Matter of fact, he wanted to keep the trend going. You know, Casey last year qualified for national, and I told Pat this is his year to qualify for national. So Pat has that goal that he really wants to finish up on a high note and continue the trend of qualifying for nationals. All
right, and speaking of goals, Jaguars have had a lot of accomplishments in our history here. So I'm going to throw a couple things at you, and I want you to tell me how you feel about them.
Sure.
All right. The highlight of the team was the Jaguars taking first place at the Troll Classic. How did it feel to get your first win?
It was great. It was great because it's been a while. It's been a while since we really came in first on the tournament.
All right. And if we're looking at the team, Casey Dante and Patrick Guilfoyle were CCAC first team selections. This speaks volumes to the team, and it also puts the rest of the conference on notice. How does that feel?
That feels great because what you look at is that golf, hopefully, and it's supposed to put Governor State on the map, letting the other schools and people know that we do have a program here and it's a good place to get a good education.
All right, and if we're looking at Casey Dante as well, he was the first representative at the NAIA Nationals. How does that feel, and how proud are you of him?
Oh, very proud. And like I said before, when we look at a little story, we were waiting to see if he was going to be able to qualify. And he had just finished up. We were looking at the board. There was still some other players out there playing. And we was eating. And they came in and said, hey, you know, we're going to have a playoff. I said, what? Because Casey, we just dropped our food. Everybody just ran out and went out there, and Casey did his job.
Perfect, perfect. And if we're looking at this team, we got a lot to look forward to for the spring. Talk to me about what we should be expecting from our Jaguars this spring.
I'm looking for, at least on the men's side, I'm looking for at least Pat to be able to qualify for national, as well as the team showing good, strong showing at the national or at our conference, which is at John Deere. On the women's side, you know, again, I'm looking for Sedona to really, really etch her name into the history book as far as doing well at that conference.
Gotcha. Also looking at the spring, Wednesday, April 20th is the Jaguar Spring Classic. Can you tell me and the listeners about this event that you got coming up?
Yeah, what I want to do, it's hosting our own tournament. It's a way that, again, we're letting people know and teams know and schools know that we do have a golf program and we're able to function and hold our own tournament. It also gives a chance to experience a tournament before the big tournament. You know, I want us to be able to continue to work hard to be ready for when we go to the conference.
All right, and lastly, like myself, we got a lot of Jaguars here that like to make sure we staying up to date and as close as possible to our teams. Is there any social medias or anywhere we can find the golf team here in GSU?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. But hopefully, we're working on that here.
Yeah, I'll make sure I reach out to some of your golfers. We take care of that. I got you covered.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you, Coach. Thank you for joining us, and we appreciate having you here on the
sir.
show.
Thank you, sir.
Now, there you have it, Jaguars, straight from head coach Fred Hawkins himself. Make sure you stay up to date with all GSU schedules and stats from all our sports teams at gsujaguars.com. I am Zhamarr Thompkins, and thank you for joining us here on Jaguar Sports Talk Nation.